Hi, welcome to the first how-to video for Boydo's Tech Talk. I've been wanting to do a how-to video for a while, and this is the first chance that I've had. So what this video is about is how to install RAM inside your computer. The process itself is fairly simple, however you do need to be aware of a few things before you even get to that stage. Firstly, you need to know what sort of RAM goes inside your computer. So for this particular computer, not that you'll be able to see too much in there, it takes DDR2 RAM. These days the majority of computers will take DDR2, but some of the higher end machines will take DDR3. Now you just can't put DDR3 RAM in a DDR2 machine and vice versa because the slots are a little bit different. So that's always worth keeping in mind there. One other thing to bear in mind is when you're installing RAM, you should make sure your hands are clean and also dry, because you don't want any moisture or muck getting inside the computer, because obviously that's not very good at all. So I guess we'll just get straight into it. So the other day I went out and bought 4 gigabytes of Kingston DDR2 RAM there. So nothing special. Cost me about $50 or something off memory. One other thing that you do need to bear in mind is you should also make sure that you've eliminated any static electricity from yourself. So usually you do that by touching the metal chassis of the case, or if you have something else nearby that's metal and you can ground yourself on that, just go over and touch it just to remove any static electricity from your body. Anyway, we'll get to the RAM installation now. Bearing in mind I've only got one hand here because I'm holding the camera with the other hand. So you'll need to just make sure you remove it carefully from the box, and that's what it looks like there. Just see if I can get that to focus a bit there. No, okay. Now this notch here is very important because that basically lines up with the notch C in the red slots there. Now one other thing to bear in mind is when you do have multiple slots, you should always fill up the same colours first. So that basically it enables a feature called dual channel or triple channel in the case of DDR machines like the i7s and that sort of thing, so you get improved performance. And you should be filling up from slot 0 and 2 first, and then 1 and 3, and etc, etc. Or in the case of triple channel, 0, 2 and 4, and then 1, 3 and 5. So the way I usually RAM is you just need to make sure it lines up. So there's no forcing. There are little guiding. You can see here there's just a little notch where the RAM stick will slide in on either end. And what you do is you just push down gently until it's snapped place. So that side's in, and we'll come down here and do the same thing. There you go, so that's a stick of RAM installed. We'll just come over here and grab the other one. So again, just slide it in. Yep, so no need to force it, you should just slide right in. Make sure the notch lines up. It's kind of hard to see on this 4th slot, but anyway. And just push until it locks in place, and again on the bottom. Come on. There we go. Right, so those should cure now, which they are, and that's the end of the RAM installation. All you need to do now is turn it on, make sure your computer can see all of the RAM at startup. So I'll have 6 gigabytes in this machine, and that should be it. One thing to bear in mind is if you do install more than 4 gigabytes of RAM in your computer, you will need a 64-bit operating system in order to address all of it. So if you're on 32-bit Windows and you've just gone and put 8 gigabytes of RAM in there, you're only going to be able to use theoretically 4, but more than likely 3.5, 3.25 gigabytes of that. So just one thing to bear in mind. Anyway, if you found this guide useful, just make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.